Hello. I'm glad you could join us today for the 11th episode of the second season of the Salem Painter. I haven't decided what I'm going to paint yet today, so I just coated the canvas with a thin, even coat of liquid white. And then I'm going to start with some blue up in the sky. I'm going to go down to my palette and just spread some blue out pretty thin here. This blue is very strong, so we just need a little bit of it. Load up the brush. Alright, I'm just going to start right up in the corner. Using little egg strokes, just back and forth. Because we have liquid white on the canvas, this is automatically going to get lighter as it comes down. And we want this to happen. This is good. Things are always going to get lighter as they go towards the horizon. Well, most of the time. It's not always true. If you ever feel like you need more blue, you can just darken it up by putting some more blue up in the corners. And just blending it downward. I think today we're just going to make a painting that's a nice blue sunny day with lots of trees in it. All right, there we go. I'm gonna come a little bit further down, and I'll stop with the sky. I think we got enough in there. And now we're just gonna clean off our brush by doing some little horizontal strokes from the sides. I'm gonna have some water down here, so you want to keep this kind of straight if you can. And if you'll notice, this whole time I haven't put any more blue on my brush. That's just how strong this is. And you know, you don't want to blend this too much, because when you've got these little white places in the sky, it makes it look like something's going on there. Maybe some little wispy clouds way off in the distance. And I'm going to get a little more blue on the brush now for these lines going in. Just do a little on each side. In the center, I'm going to leave a little white place open where hopefully when we're done, it'll look like a sheen going across the water. It's a little reflection of light. It's gonna look like a sheen across the water. Winning. Yeah, a Charlie sheen. All right. That's enough blue in there. Now we're just gonna blend all the way across with it. Just cover up any white areas here on the sides. All right. Now the next thing we're gonna do, I think we're gonna maybe put some trees in here. So I'm gonna take a little bit of the brown, a little bit of the blue, and I'm just mixing this together on the brush. Just go across it. Just get some of that color. All right, I'm gonna go back up to our canvas, maybe here. And we'll just start making some basic tree shapes. These are way in the background, so just gonna keep it kind of simple. And as you can see, I'm leaving some areas here. I'm not covering everything up. I want the blue to show through. So I'm just gonna leave some of it there. Get some more, come back to the canvas. Maybe some of the areas that are supposed to be closer, we'll make them a little bit darker. Big tree right here. Just tap it in. I don't know what we're doing yet. Tap in a little more right there. This doesn't really look like trees yet, it just looks like a bunch of paint splattered around. But you know, we gotta put this dark color in because we gotta have something for our highlights to sit on. We gotta have shadows. And you gotta have the dark to have the light. Alright, now that we got that done, I'm gonna come in and start getting some color for the trees. I'm gonna go down to my palette here and get a little bit of yellow, cad yellow mixed with green. Maybe a little yellow ochre in there too. And I'm gonna come back up to the canvas and just start highlighting some of these trees. And just a little bit. We're not putting a lot of color in here. These are really far off in the distance. Don't need a lot of detail. But we'll just make it look like little tufts. If you want something that looks like it's pointing up more, maybe turn your brush to the side. You could even use the big 2-inch brush to do these. Might make it go a little faster. And you can switch up colors, you know, different trees are gonna look slightly different. You know, today I've got a special guest with me. I decided to bring my girlfriend's daughter because she wanted to be part of the show. So if you would, come on over here. And look right there into the camera. The one with the red light. This is Jillian.
Hi, I'm Jillian.
Would you like to tell them a little bit about yourself while I paint these trees?
Sure. My dad lives far away, but someday he'll come here on an airplane. And maybe he'll come and play with me, he said. But maybe someday I want to go on an airplane and visit him with my mom.
Ah, that'd be nice. Take a trip down to South Carolina.
No, it's East Coast.
Well, speak up a little bit louder so they can make sure they hear you. Why don't you tell us about things you like? Tell us about toys you like or shows you like to watch on TV.
Okay, I'll just talk about the shows that I like. Well, the shows I like is My Little Ponies. The interesting thing about My Little Ponies is that I like the Princess of Friendship, Twilight Sparkle, Princess Twilight Sparkle. And I also like her best buddy Pinkie Pie, Rarity, Applejack, Rainbow Dash, and Fluttershy, and Rarity.
All right.
They're best friends.
Was there anything else you want to tell people?
Well, let me finish about My Little Ponies.
Okay.
And I know a dragon in My Little Ponies, Spike. He's the dragon in this movie, and whoever been Princess Celestia is sending a message to Princess Twilight Sparkle. It comes out of his mouth, ew. But it doesn't look like God dirty, because it comes out of his spire, but his fire's green. Then Twilight Sparkle reads it, but sometimes it's just a message to come to the castle.
All right. Well, if you will, go back and sit over there for me.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing with us. Thought it'd be nice to get her on to talk a little bit. I'm sure you'll get tired of hearing me talk all the time. So what I was doing while she was talking was I was just putting some little tree trunks in using liquid white in my liner brush. You know, tree trunks are usually more brown, but we needed something that would contrast with the colors that we had on there already, so you'd be able to see them. And a couple more back in here. We don't have to put a lot, just enough to give some indications that they're there. And we're going to come back with some of that color that we made before for the trees. And maybe just put some up around these tree trunks we just made. Make them part of the painting. That way they're not all floating out on the top of everything. She really likes My Little Pony. I guess you could tell that.
Not always. I like every kind of movie.
No.
Except for the very scary ones.
Alright, next I'm gonna mix together some brown, some blue, some dark colors, and we're just gonna kind of put a little projection of land out here. Some up in the back. And you know, before we go on, I want to create some little reflections here in the water I'm going to have. So, clean off my brush. All right, there we go. And now I'm just going to pull straight down. Just straight down. And gonna come by and redo that little projection of land I just done. And just pull straight down again. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Just a little projection of land going out. And again, just going to pull down, make some reflections here. Maybe I'll put some more in here. And just pulling straight down again. Getting these reflections. And back to the other side. Load the brush with more color. And again, pull down the reflections. You just want to pull straight down, and when you get done pulling down, you just want to kind of go straight across on these, make them look kind of watery. They don't have to be perfect. We haven't even decided what we're going to paint there yet. But I did know that I wanted some reflections, so go ahead and get that done. All right. And get a little more going through here. And I'm making this a little darker as I'm coming down because I want deeper shadows as I get closer to the bottom of the painting. More color in there. There went Jillian walking by. What are you doing over there? Uh-huh. And a little bit more. We're almost done putting in that color. And one more time. Pull reflections down. All right. Now we're gonna go back down to our palette and get a little, maybe cad yellow, some yellow ochre, and mix them together. And we're just gonna come through and start highlighting some of these little bushes in the back. And as I always say, and I do say this just about every episode, when you're doing these bushes, they're individual bushes. You want to do them one at a time and make sure you leave some of the dark area in there. Because this dark area here in between, it's what makes your highlight stand out. Without the dark area, you can't have a bush. Get a couple more back here. Way off in the distance. And a little right here. Let's see, maybe more yellow. You can make these bushes any color you like. Maybe there's a bright one right here. We'll put a little bit of crimson on it. A red bush out there on the side of the river. Our little stream. And we'll just keep going like this until we've highlighted all the bushes. Come back in a second and put some details in. I'm happy with the way these bushes are turning out. This is a great way to practice bushes. I don't think we've done a painting with this many of them. It's got a lot going on right here. And one right here. You know, as you get closer to the foreground, you want it to remain quite dark. You want more of the shadow area left. So leave some of these dark areas. This will also be where we come back and put in more details in a few minutes. All right. Now I think we're gonna go down to our palette here and maybe get a little Van Dyke brown and just spread it out. Do them kind of like we do the mountains. Just scrubbing it in. We're going to come back and put some highlights over this in a minute, so it doesn't matter if all the area underneath gets covered. But you do want to keep this quiet dark. Alright, now we're going to take some white and we're going to mix it with our brown, just make it kind of marbled. That's going to make a nice highlight color for us. And we're going to come back over all the land we just did, the angle we want it to be at, and just pull down. Just very lightly. You don't want much pressure here. You just want to kind of let it come off the knife. Let the canvas take what it wants. I'll leave the rest behind. And see, there we go. And now that we got a little bit on each of these pieces, I guess projections of land. Yeah, that's what we want to call them. Now that we got some highlights and banks on here, we need to go through and put some water lines in. To do that, I'm going to get some liquid white, just spread it out really thin, just like that. Then I'm going to just cut across it. All right, we're going to go back up to the palette and just kind of act like we're trying to cut into it with the palette knife. And if the white is too bright for you, you can add a little brown into it. Of course, when you're doing stuff like this, it's probably going to end up mixing with it anyway. Sometimes it's best not to fight that kind of thing. Just let it happen. All right. And there we go, got that one done. You know, if you're gonna try painting and you're just starting out, this would be one I'd recommend doing because there's a lot of repetition. As you notice during this painting, we've done a lot of the same things over and over again. We've gone through it with the same water lines, the same banks, the same bushes, but repetition is what helps you get better. All right, gotta get some more liquid white out of there. Starting to run out. All right, and back to the water lines. And you want to keep these basically straight, but they don't have to be perfect. And you know, most things I do, they're definitely not perfect, so. That works good for me. All right. So now that we got the water lines in, I think maybe we need some trees here in the foreground. Some big trees. So I'm gonna go down to my palette and just load the brush up with brown on one side and white on the other. We're just gonna come up to our canvas and we're gonna decide where we want that tree. I think I want one going right down through here, so I'm just gonna paint it in. And I'm gonna do the same thing again. I think I want another tree right here beside it. Maybe that tree is gonna have some branches coming off. I don't know, I haven't decided yet for sure what I want with this tree. Maybe I want to go right on off the canvas. Really thick one there. Big tree. Maybe it has another little fork that comes off on this side. And maybe one right down through here. There we go. Now I want to come back and get a little bit of color, maybe some brown on the palette knife. I'm going to spread it out. I'm just going to start coming along this tree and just putting some paint on the side of it. Give it a little bit of texture.
What is that?
It's a palette knife. And Jillian's over here asking me questions about what I'm doing when we're painting. It's a palette knife. And it's used to spread paint around. And it's also used to mix paint on the palette.
Like paintbrushes?
Well, yeah, like paintbrushes, but a little bit different.
Something's different about the sound. Something's different about the sound.
Well, that's because it's a metal knife. It's not just a brush.
So it's a brush knife?
Yes.
Oh.
I guess that's a good way to put it. A brush knife. And I'm gonna put some going around the other way.
My hair looks fine like this. I just poured some of the hair on my bun and I just made it like this.
Get kind of a three-dimensional texture. Hey, go back over there and sit down so we can finish up here. All right.
Well, please.
And I'm going to do the same thing for this tree. You can even do it kind of rounded, make it look like the tree is circular. And this is pretty easy to do. You don't even have to really move it. You can just tap as you're going down the tree. And maybe on the back side of this tree, we're gonna put a little blue to indicate some reflected light. Maybe on the back of this tree too, just a little bit. And on the other side, I'm going to get a little bit of the crimson and do the same thing.
Jim, I'm looking at the TV.
Shh. All right, a little bit on here.
Oh.
There we go. All right, now, oh, looks like I missed a spot. I can get some on that.
Okay.
Now that I've got this done, I'm thinking maybe I want another tree right here, and we're just gonna do that by tapping the knife. We're not even gonna paint it in this time, we're just gonna tap it in.
That's all the paint that you're using?
Shh. Go sit down. All right. And I think maybe we'll just leave this one just like that, just an old dead stump sticking up. Over on this other one though, I'm gonna put some branches and put some leaves on it. No, go sit down. All right, thank you. Jillian, go sit down. Shh. All right. Jillian's moving the camera around. She's a little bit excited. It's her second time on TV though. She came here before for another show with a friend of ours, and she had a lot of fun doing it. And gotta figure out what I do with my script liner brush. Alright, we're gonna go back down to the palette and get the script liner brush, and we're gonna mix a little paint thinner in with some brown. And just twisting it around in it. And then I can start putting on some other little branches on here. doesn't matter where. We're going to cover a lot of them up, but you can do as many or as few of these as you like. And the thinner that paint is, the easier it's going to flow, the easier it's going to be to paint this stuff.
You just shocked me.
And we're going to go back and put in some dark color there. Just get some leaves. Just wherever we think they should go. And like I said with these trees in the background, you do want to leave some of the blue shining through. Lots of leaves on this one. Big shade tree. And then we're going to come back with, make some highlights. I think this one should have some yellow leaves, so I'm going to mix together a little bit of yellow, green, yellow ochre. Kind of the same color as the bushes. And just start putting some highlights in. And just like I did with the bushes, I want to leave lots of dark spaces in here, places for the light to shine through. And wherever you think light might hit it, you can just add a little more color there. Wherever you think the sun would shine on that tree. And you know, you can come outside of the dark area, you know, you have leaves sticking out all over the place. And I think I want a little more brown on this trunk here. So it's never too late to go back and add these things if you'd like. You know, the more texture, the better, I always say. Alright, we're gonna come through, maybe put a couple of bushes in at the bottom. These trees to cover up the feet. Maybe a little on this side. And I think there's something missing from these trees still. I think that maybe they could use some highlights. Yeah, mix up a little brown and white. And just kind of put it on the side of the tree, going around however we want it. See, it's picking up some of that blue that we put on there on the back side. Looked like some light coming out of the woods or something. Maybe a little here, just to highlight. Just however we want it. And it's picking up that red, so it's going to look like light shining from the front. Maybe some on both sides. A little bit more over here. And this is also going to help make the tree look kind of 3D, you know, coming around it. Maybe on that dead tree we want more brown color. Maybe the light will just shine on one side of it, so we'll just kind of come up and highlight it with the corner of the knife. Yeah, I like that. You know, when you're doing these, maybe the best thing to do is just go out in nature and look at things. If you see a dead tree, look at it and think about what colors you could use to make a similar effect. So maybe we'll put some brown up in here. Alright, maybe another big bush down in the corner. And I think I want another little dead tree right here. Just a little branch sticking out. Maybe this tree broke off halfway up and fell into the water. And he needs a highlight too, but maybe on him, he's not out in the shadows and the light's coming from this side. Kind of put a bush covering his bottom up too. It doesn't look strange sticking out there. Maybe we got a little rock or something coming through here. Maybe a log on the ground. Just get some dark color in there. And come back and highlight it. What's in? So that same color we highlighted the other rocks with. Maybe we'll cover some of it up. Maybe even most of it. Just, when you get closer, you want to see little details on the ground. And maybe we'll come through and scratch in some trunks. This is just scratching through the paint and letting the white canvas show underneath. It's a great way to put some little chunks in there without working too hard.
It sounds like you're cutting the canvas.
It does sound like I'm cutting the canvas. Jillian just said it sounds like I'm cutting the canvas. But you know, you can actually press quite hard on this. You don't have to worry about cutting through it. Canvas is very strong.
Not quite.
And I usually do this in little dark areas in the painting. But, you know, you don't want to overdo it. I also have a tendency to do that sometimes. Overdo it just a little bit.
The white canvas?
All right, and I think we're probably going to call this a finished painting. And real quick here, stand back up on the stool. All right, look at that camera right there. Let's get you further over. All right, is there anything else you want to tell everybody?
That's it.
Are you sure that's it?
Yeah.
You've been running around for like 30 minutes. You sure you don't want to tell everybody anything else?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope you learned a lot from this painting. I sure did. I've never done one like this before. And, you know, sometimes we make mistakes on the show, and I don't mind that. I like to make mistakes so you can see the mistakes and you can learn from my mistakes. Well, thanks for watching, and we hope to see you next time.